Welcome to the Build Your Beautiful Business podcast with your host, Julie C. Butler. If you're looking to build the business of your dreams, then this is the space you want to be in. Join Julie as she talks about ways that you can successfully scale your profitable dream business, one that will give you ultimate time freedom and the abundant lifestyle you deserve. Julie will take you by the hand, sharing with you her business savvy strategies as she chats it up with her favorite online entrepreneurs. You'll get a weekly dose of boosted confidence as you learn as they reveal their insight, tips, and tools that you need to start building a profitable dream business of your own, one that you'll love and that works for you on autopilot.
Hello and welcome back to the show. Today we have my beautiful friend Marissa Roberts here with us all the way from Australia. Marissa is the host of the Simpler Business podcast, and she is passionate about sharing tips, tools, and strategies so that you can have more income and more freedom as a business owner or entrepreneur. With 10 plus years experience running 2 businesses online and working 10 hours a week or less, Marissa's here to show you how to ditch the long to-do lists, late nights, and overwhelm, and get back to running a business you love with ease. Hello, Marissa. I am so happy to have you on the show. I feel like we meet every other week or so for if it's not a summit interview or me being a guest on your podcast, it's us being, besties in our DMs on Instagram. I'm so happy to have you on the show today. Welcome.
Oh, I'm so excited to be here. I like anytime we get together, whether it's for a quick voice message, which by the way, you taught me how to do voice messages on Instagram and I love it now.
And you're all about simplicity.
I know, right? But I don't know what it was. That was a little hurdle for me. But yeah, I always feel like when we get together, it's like we've gone out for a nice lunch or a coffee date. It just, things flow very well. We talk about work all the time, but it doesn't feel hard. So yeah, whenever we get together, it's such a good energy. I really, really love it.
And I have to thank you because of you. I've been able to launch my podcast in the simplest way possible. I was feeling overwhelmed before. I was I've been wanting to launch this podcast for 2 years. And then I looked at other courses and then I saw yours. I'm going to look at Marissa's podcast course. And I went through and it was such a breeze to go through because I know you are the queen of simplicity and it was so easy to follow. And I felt like I could check off. First of all, you didn't have a 2-page to-do list. And it was such an easy course to go through and you made it so simple and easy that I felt I feel like honestly, once I found your course, it was a matter of weeks before I launched my podcast. So thank you because your podcast course is awesome. So just side note.
Oh, thank you. That's lovely. And that was my goal because I think sometimes when we get courses, and I buy courses all the time, right? And then sometimes I buy them and I log in and immediately I'm hit with overwhelm because there's so much in there, right? And when I was creating that one, I thought people are already busy in their business. Podcast is adding another level of pressure. I don't want to make the course add another level of pressure. I just want them to follow the pathway step by step, easy bite-sized action. So to hear you say that makes me feel amazing. So thank you.
Yes, your course is awesome. And one of my friends also has it. And she also is impressed with the steps and how easy and how simple you've made it. So, and also how awesome are you when I had questions, you're like, ooh, I should add that to the course.
That was the best way to do it because sometimes as course creators, we're too close to it, aren't we? And we miss little things where I'm like, oh, I have that resource. Why did I never think to put it in there? So that's why you are one of my favorite students because you just as soon as you think of something where you're like, oh, hang on a minute, it would be easier if I had a version of this. You're just on the voice message and, have you got something like that? And I'm like, yes, I do. Thank you for reminding me. So it's been such an easy experience. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is the perfect example of students asking you questions about your course. Whatever the size of it is take notes and you could add that resource to your program or your course, etc. So you don't have to answer the question again.
Absolutely. It's a win everywhere. You're just winning at life when you do it.
Yeah. And so, which brings me into the topic of our conversation today, and this is when I saw that you applied to be a guest speaker and you put this topic, I was like, Oh, this is so good because we're going to talk about the easy ways to get testimonials and social proof for our businesses, our products, and our services. And so I love, like me, I'm all about giving testimonials where testimonials is due because I think it's so important. And there's not a lot of people who volunteer testimonials. Like sometimes you have to pull teeth to get them. And so I thought this was such a good topic such a good subject to talk about because I think we all need the testimonials. We all want the testimonials. And so and so me, I was like all over. I'm like, Marissa, and of course I'm going to send you a testimonial.
Thank you. Thank you.
I think actually also this became one as well.
Yeah, I know we should just take the notes from this recording. And that's the thing. That's the thing. There's so many easy ways to do it. It doesn't have to be direct and confrontational. And a lot of people, they have these mindset blocks around getting testimonials, right? Like, what if I ask and they actually hated my thing and they don't have anything nice to say? We're always thinking about stuff like that.
Yeah.
Or what if they didn't actually like working with me? What if they're too busy and they just never reply? That's all in our head. Once we actually take a proactive step and put it out there, that's when momentum starts to build. So don't let your mindset hold you back with that sort of thing, because we all feel it. We all have that imposter syndrome. We all have that.
I know that boogeyman. You know what I say about that, right? Tell them to sit down and shut the hell up. I use the F word, but
It's so true. It's so true.
Yeah,
it's just words in your brain. Yeah,
yes.
It's just words. It's not real.
It's just words. It's not real. Reality is that, yes, okay, maybe there are some people that maybe it just wasn't meant for them or whatever the reason. And sometimes it's not even about you. It's about them and what they're going through.
Always. Yeah. It's
Right?
always about them. Not in a mean way. Like, it's just everybody filters through their own personal experience. If you've got, say, a quiet student in your course, for example, it's not that they don't like your course. It's that they're feeling busy. They don't know where to start. There's a bunch of reasons. And, we can go into that in a whole nother episode where you can get people active in your program without feeling really, really pushy. Always something in their life, in their mindset, on their end. It's never, or hard, unless you're a real jerk and you don't teach anybody anything in your course and you just like rip people off, which none of us do. If you're providing helpful content, it's all good. If you're not getting like something, if you're not getting a testimonial, if you're not getting activity, it's always something on the other end, and we can help with that too. We don't have to make it hard.
Awesome. So let's dive in because I have a few questions. We have some questions here, so I want to make sure that we cover everything. So I think you talked about it, but why do you think we procrastinate on asking for testimonials and reviews? I think you touched on that. Do you have anything to add?
Only that if you make it more of a process than a hurdle, it's going to be easier. So you're right. I always do that. I jump in and I give the first answer when we're talking. Okay. But yeah, it's always a mindset thing. And really, once you know that getting testimonials is really just a matter of asking on a regular basis, but asking in a way that makes it really easy and flowy. Once you settle on your way and you do it on a regular basis and kind of book it into your calendar, for example, it becomes a no-brainer. It becomes autopilot. It becomes, there's no feelings or emotions attached to it anymore. It's like any other business process, but it's easy. So yeah, just tell yourself that once you find your way, once you pick one of these ways today and start with that and it flows well, you're golden from that point on. It's not going to be a big thing anymore.
Yeah. And it can be automated too. Right.
Oh, yeah,
if people sign up to your program and like a month or two or weeks, whatever later, you want to ask them for that testimonial, that email can be automated, right?
Yes. You can automate the email and you can sprinkle it through your content as well. And then if you have a Facebook group, for example, there are ways to sprinkle it through. So you don't even have to be upfront about it if you don't want to. You can just gather little bits of information that work as testimonials and social proof as well. There are so many different options, but yeah, definitely. Automated email is the first thing to do, because once you've got that set up, you don't think about it anymore. You just wake up in the morning, check your inbox and go, oh, what a nice surprise. A lovely comment about my program.
I know. And it's so great when people volunteer the information, like volunteer the feedback without you asking, right? Like a couple of weeks ago, I was launching my ThriveCard templates and it was officially launching them. And then someone messaged me and said, if I use your ThriveCard affiliate link, do you have a bonus? And she said, because there are other templates out there that they do this, but I love yours better. And so it was such a nice testimonial, right? And sometimes it's just words of affirmation and stuff like that, right? That come into our inbox, sprinkled here and there, that, sometimes it's easy to take a screenshot as well, right?
And more effective. When I see a screenshot testimonial on a website, I know it's real, right? As a consumer. So those haphazard screenshots that you can take where you just blur out the person's name if they want to be private or keep it there if they don't mind, they actually help you convert way better than a standard one where you've had to send it out with a template and get them to fill it in. Those really long ones, they're still good. But those quick and easy screenshots where you just pile them up on the screen when you've had a few of them, that is so effective. When I'm a buyer and I see that's there, I'm like, oh, real people already like this and they're happy to say it. And that's how you know. So that's one of the best testimonials you can get, those little screenshots, happy compliments, happy words, that sort of thing.
Without it being like a whole chapter long.
Yes.
So, and it's so easy to ask. Like sometimes I'll be like, hey, can I get a testimonial from you? But can you write it in my Facebook DM? Like, can you write it in Facebook Messenger? Because you can screenshot from there. Or if it's in a group program, you could always link a post and say, can you go put it on that post?
Yes.
Right? People don't mind doing that stuff for us, right?
No, then that's the thing. We put all this work into our relationships with other people, with our course students, with our partnerships and collaborations. We put effort into this. And when you've got a real connection with somebody and they're actually like us, like we're business besties. We're on two different sides of the world. We've only met a couple of times live. And yet I feel like I've known you for years. You could ask me anytime. I'd be like, let me in your Facebook group. I will do a big photo of something that draws the eye and be happily telling people how much I love your stuff, because I actually really do love your stuff. And I would rather say it loud and proud to the world than have to send it to you and make you do something with it. Like the more help I can give, of course, because I've received so much value from you, I am happy to reciprocate. Like it's not even a thought in my mind. It's no effort at all. And in fact, for the person giving the review, it's so much easier for them to go in your Facebook group and just blurt out all of the good stuff than it is about people, like when you ask people, you think, oh, it's going to be so hard because they won't want to sit down and write a testimonial. But if you just say somebody, can you just go in my group and talk about why you like it? Easy. They'll just blurt it out. They don't care how it sounds. And all of the good vibes just come through in that wording. It's amazing. It's really effective.
And so, have you found that, I wanted to say something about those screen grabs.
Yeah.
They're, as a designer and a website page, like nerd, they don't always look good, or they're, off balance. But it works, right? Like, so don't be afraid to include those screenshots from your Facebook Messenger, your Instagram DMs, your email. Just Google how to get a screenshot if you don't know how to do it, because it's different on the Mac and the PC. Just Google. And what I've done is I've created a Canva document. So it's like just a square. And whenever I have something about the summit, I screen grab, I go to my Canva and I paste it onto that. So now whenever I need a testimonial for the summit or my program, I know where to go find it because I screen grabbed it and I put it in my Canva,
and it's
I call it a template, right?
Yeah.
And
so and they
you
look
don't have
good.
to save
They're
them all
branded.
over your computer.
Yeah, exactly. They're in one location. You can grab and go. You can brand them as you go. It's so easy.
Grab and go. And then we can input them onto our sales pages and onto our checkout pages, right? And those are, or on Instagram, whatever.
What else works really well?
What?
You can take that and use it as the image for the post in your course group and say, hey, look at these lovely words from Judy.
That's a good idea.
And then underneath, you then say, tell me, what about the course did you like the best? And then bam, under that, all of your comments come out. And then you screenshot all of the comments. It's like one of my favorite hacks to do it that way.
I love that. I'm going to go do that. Okay. See you later.
We're done with the episode. That's enough to get people moving.
Actionable. I'm all about actionable. Okay, so I have a question for you. So you know how sometimes you're in a program and you'll see in the program a section or a lesson asking for your testimonial. In your experience, do you think that that is enough to get the testimonial, or are we best off to send an email in a sequence or ask them privately, like privately in an email or Facebook or Instagram? Like my students, or a lot of them, like we communicate on Facebook, on social media. So it's easy for me to go, hey, can you say a few words? Right. So what about those courses that include that section inside of the course?
Oh, I say do all of it, but start with the easiest one. Start with the one that feels easiest for you. For some people, that's going to be putting it in the course, getting it set, and just being like, okay, set and forget. If I do nothing else, at least I've got that in there. But people like you who are really warm and friendly and have good connections, and you just have natural conversations with people, you'll gravitate to doing that first, right? The putting it in the course is going to feel like the big job, and you might procrastinate on that, right? So you go with your authentic relationship back and forth that you do on social media. That's going to be more powerful for you. But in the future, if you've got a VA working for you, that's when you say to them, by the way, let's add this into the program, so that you don't necessarily have to do it yourself. Yeah. But if you're going to add it into your program, yes, have a section in the course, but also sprinkle it in other areas. So put it in the welcome module as well. And all you have to do is say something really easy, like, I want to make sure this course is exactly what you have. So as we go through it, remember to let me know what you are loving so that we keep it in here. Right? So we don't take it out. It's all about putting it in a way that benefits your course student. And that encourages them to go, yeah, you're right. I do want to keep this in here. I'm going to come back and refer to that later. I'm going to let Marissa or Julie know, yes, this has been really helpful. Can you keep it in there? So sprinkle that through. Or when you're talking about, other sections of your course or specific areas, you can say that little line, if you found this one especially helpful, let me know. And then you link your email or you link your Facebook group within the course. And that let me know is just a quick click and to a pinned post that says, what did you love most about this topic in the course? You can go as specific or as broad as you want. Lots of different ways to sprinkle it in like that. Sprinkles work really, really well because it doesn't feel like a lot of work for you and it doesn't feel like a lot of work for them.
That's true. And it doesn't have to be like the main topic of the whole program. It could just be one component of it.
Yeah, exactly. Just think of it as part of the conversation, right? And then suddenly it's not a big deal for you or them anymore. And that's what normally holds us back. It feels like too big a deal. We have to make it complicated, and we don't. Just sprinkle it through and you're all good to go. It feels more natural that way anyway.
What do you do and how do you approach, like, sometimes you ask someone for a testimonial and they're like, yeah, I'll get that to you. And then you don't hear back and time goes and you need the testimonial because you're launching your program or your offer or whatever. And you really want the testimonial from that person. And it's someone that you have a relationship with, maybe not, but how do you follow up with them to get that testimonial? Because like they're important in our business, right? Like they help us make the sale.
Yeah. So you assume they've already said yes. So you assume that actioning it for them is as easy as you can make it. So you write it for them, send it through and say, hey, do you want to make any tweaks before I pop it on the website? Right.
Oh, I love that.
I don't even say, do you want me to write it for you? I just go ahead and do it, send it through. And I go, hey, just to make sure it sounds like you, do you want to tweak anything? Or are you happy for me to just post it as is? And most people go, that looks great. Go ahead and post it. And because I know the person, and I know the person, I know their tone, I can look at their website and look at how they write. I'm on their email list anyway, right? So I write it in their voice, and that comes with time, a little bit of practice. But when you know somebody pretty well, you know how they talk. Or you just write the basics, or you go, it's usually about you usually have one compliment in a testimonial, one big thing. It's either it got me a lot of great results, it was so easy to do it, they took a lot of pressure off. There's usually one main reason. So you just pick the one that suits them the most. What's something they struggle with? Oh, you do save time for them. You do, it has found a way to relieve their stress. But write it up for them, send it through and go, want to make any tweaks before I post it? And then it's like you've assumed the posting is going to happen and then they're fine. They're like, yep, sounds
because
good.
Really, at the end of the day, every single testimonials I've ever received, they always say, feel free to tweak it.
Yes,
Right?
exactly. Because they get a mindset block on their end too. They're like, what if I don't write it well enough? What if I don't give you what you're looking for? And so you want to make it easy on them. Here's the basic points. It's always going to be something true. I will never say to people, lie in your testimonial and make up something and then say it was for somebody else. No, we don't want to do that. You know how your product or your service or your course benefits other people. Put it in there, write it, ask them if they want to make tweaks, post it on your website. Super easy.
Okay, let's.
You know
Well,
what?
yeah.
You also, we're probably going to touch on this later, but you can pre-write stuff like that too. Like if you know that your course is helping people in different ways, you can have template versions of that, right? Or a templated email that helps you ask, and it just makes it all easy as well. So yeah, you can systemize the process too.
Cool. I like it. I like the pre-written, like everybody's all like, give me a template, give me a skeleton, and I'll right. That's so easy. I mean, I do that with copy, like, give me a template and I'll just write. So easy. Then it prompts you for what to write. So I love that. Yeah. So let's talk about, what if my course is new, my program is new, my templates are new. How do you get testimonials?
Oh, that's a really good point. Okay, so everybody's like, do I let people in for free? Do I do a beta round? Yeah, either one of those works fine. Or you can just start by sharing your own case study. So it doesn't have to be a testimonial from somebody else to start with. You can start with your own story. You can start with your own case study, because a case study is just as effective as a testimonial, right? So it doesn't always have to be other people's results. It can be, I went from here to here, and this is the pathway I followed, right? So don't let it hold you back if people haven't done it yet. But I would absolutely pick 2 or 3 people and go, hey, I'm looking for a couple of people who want some help in this area. Put it out on your social media. Looking for 2 or 3 people who need some help in this area. I have a really great system that they can follow. And in return, let me know how they go with it, right? So you set the expectation, but it's light and breezy. You're going to get your 2 or 3 people straight away. And then you just set the expectation up front. Great. So I'm going to give you access to this. We'll follow the pathway together. You ask me questions if you have any questions on it. And then at the end, let me know where it helped you the most, and we'll use that as a testimonial. Nice and easy.
And I've also heard of borrow testimonials. Like sometimes we have different offers, and so and so may have worked with you on like one-on-one, for example, and you're launching a group program. Not the same, but they still worked with you, so you can borrow that testimonial, right?
It can be. You could have a course sales page, but your testimonial might be business related. I worked with Marissa in her business. It could be a partner that you worked with when you were working on a different project together. One of my favorite testimonials on LinkedIn is from somebody who we worked together years ago as VAs before we both kind of exploded in our businesses. But that project that we did together was amazing. We both showed up with our skills there. So that testimonial is, Marissa makes project work so easy, right? I can put that on any sales page. It's still going to be effective, because what your testimonials are is doing trust. It's building trust with the actual person who's selling you the thing. It's not necessarily needing to be a testimonial for the product. It's a testimonial for the person that's just as effective, right? So yeah, it can be a brand new course, and you can have testimonials from other courses, from project work you've done with people, from one-on-one coaching, from group coaching. You could have spoken at someone's event and had somebody come up to you and say, your point of view on this topic changed my life. That's going to be a testimonial, especially if your topic is related to what your talk was for your course. So yeah, it all blends in really well together. You just want to build trust. That's all we're doing.
And so it doesn't have to be related to that specific thing, like borrow it for this until you have your own testimonials for your program or your one-on-one coaching or whatever the case is. And also, you can still sell your stuff without testimonials. Like, right? There are things that will sell without the testimonials. So I think that's important to remember too. Like, yes, okay, they help make, finalize the sale in some cases. But like sometimes we're starting, and so don't let that keep you from asking for the sale. Right. And then we can work on getting the testimonials or
Yeah, exactly. If you don't have testimonials, do your case study of your own experience, do your own before and after. A before and after, so powerful on a sales page. If you design websites for a living, for example, you can just say here, you can even do projects where you haven't had clients before. But if I was a website designer, I would take this website and like blur out the identifying details. But here's a before of a basic website. Here is how I change it and make it look in the end. And here's how it's more effective. You can do before and afters are really, really powerful.
That's really cool. I love that. I love that. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's see, what else do I have on the list here? Say what I think we covered some of this, but what are some simple ways to bring in great testimonials for your business, product, or service? Do you want so we want to expand on that?
Oh, yeah. So think about your everyday life, right? When anybody pays you any compliment, that's a testimonial or a review. And you just need to say, that made my day. Thank you so much. Can I pop that on my website? And that's so easy. So some of the testimonials I get will be after I share a reel on Instagram. Someone will message. So I'll do the reel. I'll share it to my stories. Somebody will message me after seeing it on my stories and go, oh gosh, your tips really, really helped me. That really made it so much easier. And I go, thank you so much. That made my day. I love that you found it helpful. Can I pop those lovely words on my website? Because that's just the more people that see stuff like that, the better, right? Super. Anytime you get a compliment. If you're at having a coffee with somebody and they go, wow, the way you did this, really, that's really, really insightful. I really like the way you do that. Thank you so much. That made my day. Can I pop that on my website? That really just, the more people that find out that I love to do this stuff, the better. It's any happy words that you hear. If somebody does any little mention on any part of your website or contact form or email or Facebook groups or Insta DMs or comments on your Instagram, screenshot away, go for that. But remember, it can be the spoken word as well. You can then create the testimonial, send it to them, get them to tweak it, post it. So it all kind of does the same thing. When people send you a DM telling you how much they love your product or service, you just screenshot it, add it to your website. Screenshot happy compliments on your blog, on your YouTube channel, right? All the places that we don't think of. There's always comments on YouTube. There's comments on TikTok. There's comments on your blog. Screenshot those and use them, right? One thing I did a few years ago was I launched a product and it was around on my birthday. So I said to people, for my birthday, I don't want any presents, but can you tell me some way? This is for Beautifully Organized, my first business. I said, I don't need any presents for my birthday, but if you can just let me know one area of organizing that I've helped you with in the past year, that would make my day. It flooded in, and then I could screenshot all of those and use them when I sold my next organizing product, because people were saying, Marissa helped me organize in this way. And then I was selling an organizing product. So they match up in that way. So it was a really easy way. The birthday one works really, really well. Really,
That's
really well.
awesome. I love that. I love that.
Oh, so good. And then your past clients. How many people have you worked with in the past that you haven't asked for a testimonial from yet, right? Just go back and say, hey, I know we worked together a few years ago, but I just remembered I never asked for your feedback. I never asked for big cards on the table. I never did this. Is it cool if we do it now? Here are some thoughts I had that we could use. Feel free to tweak it if you want, or just let me know if it's okay. Put the testimonial in the request. Just so it's one back and forth. And that's it. They'll just review it and go, yeah, that sounds good. Go ahead.
I love it. That's
so
awesome.
Easy. And
so it does get easier. It does get easier.
Gosh.
And then we just make it habit, and then it just becomes like routine.
And get used to asking people. Yeah. And ask them as well. Pop into your Facebook every 2 weeks, have a post schedule that goes, what part of this part of the program helped you the most, right? Just have it plugged into your socials, have it plugged into your email, ask more than once, and use templates to systemize it if you're too nervous, right? Use a template, pre-write it, send it over and over again.
I love it. So speaking of templates, you have an awesome freebie for us. The email templates that will save you time, money, and stress in your business. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I love things that make life easier, right? And I find that sometimes there are activities that we do in our business that feel icky or stressful or time consuming, or we don't know how to handle them, like because they don't pop up very often. And so I created a little email template pack so that you can just copy, paste send whenever one of those instances occurred. And in the pack, there's all different things. It's like, what if somebody went to purchase but didn't buy? Here's a quick email you can send them that encourages them
Amazing.
to purchase, right? Takes the emotional attachment away for it. Or if somebody has a negative customer experience, you feel icky when that happens. It hardly ever happens, right? But every now and again, yes, it might pop up. But then you're like, oh my God, all the story comes into it. And you're like, I don't know how to handle this. I don't know what to say.
It's
You
a
don't have to worry.
toughie.
Yeah, but you don't have to worry about it if you've got a template. Everybody who has a negative experience just wants the same thing. I hear you. I'm so sorry. I'm going to make it better, right? So if you've got a template with that built in, it doesn't feel bad to respond. You won't be ghosting people who have a negative experience. Or, testimonials and reviews. There's a really good one in that pack. That's why I'm sharing it today, because there's a little email that you can send that encourages people to send a testimonial or a Google review, which is so powerful. Because
We didn't even talk about Google reviews.
they do double the work for you. So if you actually ask for a Google review, not only do they leave the Google review and you get all the search engine goodness from that,
I
but
know.
then you screenshot the Google review and you put it on your sales page and you win everywhere.
So would you ever include an email, send out an email to your people, including the link for them to go and put that Google review?
Absolutely. And sometimes I would send a carrot too, right? So in the email, I would say, hey, like maybe I've got a book that I could give away. For anybody who leaves a review in the month of March, I have a really nice, I'm going to send you a copy of this or a copy of your ebook or a little mini course that you might sell passively, and just say, hey, if anyone leaves a review in March, I'm going to gift you access to that. I'm going to gift that to you.
I love that. That's awesome.
Yep. Request, carrot, make it super easy. Done.
I love it. I love it. Okay, so now we have to download that freebie. I'm going to put that in the show notes for everybody.
Yeah.
Well, that's been so great talking. I'm sure we could talk all day. But Marissa, tell us where, if people are listening and they're like, ooh, I love her vibe, I want to know more. Where can we find you? How can we work with Marissa?
Oh, yay. I love being on Instagram. So that's the easiest way to get in touch. Don't bother emailing. It takes me like 2 days to get back to you. And it feels so like clinical and corporate. Just send me a DM on Insta and go, hey, I heard the episode. If you have questions about testimonials, just come on over. So I'm Marissa Roberts Official on Instagram, but we can put the link in if that's easier. But
yeah,
also
we'll have
my
the
website.
link in the show notes.
Yay. Okay. Nice and easy. And also my website is just my name, marissaroberts.com. You can find me there nice and easy. I have lots of little hacks, lots of little tips that I share to make business simple and easy for you, because I only like to work a couple of hours a day. And I want that for everybody if that's what they want to. So happy to share.
And you're always doing self-care. You're always out for lunch, and you're always doing something to take care of yourself. And you really truly do only work a few hours a day. You work your business around your life and not the other way around. And so you share those tips and tricks on your social media and also on your podcast.
Oh, yes. I always forget to talk about the podcast, which is ironic because my hot podcast is called the Simpler Business Podcast.
And it's awesome.
And I have amazing guests on that podcast. Julie has been one of my guests, and your episode was the most fun chat. Because do you remember we talked about how to have fun in your business?
Yes.
The whole chat was just like, here's the stuff you need to do. Here's how to make it fun. Lighten up, enjoy it. You get better results when you have fun in your business. So yeah, people should go and listen to that one, because that was a really good one.
It was. And also asking for testimonials should be fun too.
Yes, absolutely. Right? The more light and breezy you make it, the more it flows to you. So find your way that feels the easiest, and just put that on repeat, and you're good to go.
Yeah. And go find Marissa and tell her you enjoyed this podcast episode, and find her because of all of the tips and tricks that she shares, and her podcast, because you have some good stuff on there too.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you so much for being on the show. I'm sure we'll do this again.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Right? If it's not a summit interview or a podcast, or an interview for your podcast or for my podcast, we like hanging out. So
yeah, we love hanging out. We should just hit record every time we hang out and then just share it with everybody.
I know. Have just like a coffee chat with Marissa and Julie.
Yeah, exactly. Here's what's happening with Marissa and Julie. We should do a live Instagram together. That's what we should do, is just hang out, have a cup of coffee. Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it.
That'd be fun. Yeah.
Okay. We'll have to plan it accordingly because we're on such different time zones, but we make it work.
Yeah. It'll be
Right?
coffee for one, wine for the other. Or
Yeah. Actually, I don't really drink wine, so I'm like still on coffee.
oh, good. Well, then we can have double coffee. I'll have
Double
morning coffee for evening
Double-
coffee.
Exactly. And if we change schedules, then it'll be the opposite because
Yeah.
you like wine, right?
Oh, yeah, yeah. But I also like
Yeah.
coffee, so I'm okay either
But
way.
you like coffee. Okay. This has been amazing. I'm so excited. I'm so happy. I can't wait to share this episode with the world. And thanks again, Marissa. It's been such a pleasure and I truly appreciate you. Honestly, I think you're a gem and well, who doesn't love an Australian accent? He's also.
Thank you. Oh, I've loved being here. Thank you so much for having me.
You're so welcome.
I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Build Your Beautiful Business podcast. If you did, please make sure to subscribe, rate, and review the show on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Julie's included a link in the shows to make it nice and easy for you. And if you want to create a beautiful, profitable business of your own, make sure to go unlock your access to Julie's 6 must-have resources for female entrepreneurs. These resources will help you build and grow your business with simplicity and ease. You can find them at juliecbutler.com/freebie vault. We'll see you in the next episode.